Most men overlook something incredibly important, even though it matters far more than they realize. Interestingly enough, it is one of the things women quietly appreciate the most, despite rarely talking about it openly. Think about it for a moment. You've probably met men who seem to have everything going for them. They're attractive, confident, successful in their careers, and socially respected. Yet somehow, they struggle to build deep and meaningful relationships with women. Something always seems to be missing, and they can't quite figure out what it is. The truth is that attraction is not built solely on looks, money, or status. What many men fail to recognize are the subtle behaviors that leave a lasting emotional impact. They aren't flashy gestures or obvious displays. Instead, they're quiet actions that often go unnoticed on the surface, yet they play a major role in shaping how a woman truly feels about you. In this video, I'm going to reveal several hidden desires that many women experience but rarely express directly. These aren't the typical dating tips you hear everywhere online. They are rooted in psychology, human behavior, and timeless principles that have influenced relationships for generations. When understood correctly, these concepts can completely transform the way women perceive you. Now imagine something for a moment. What if you could connect with a woman on a level she doesn't fully understand herself? What if you could naturally stand out without chasing her, without constantly explaining yourself, and without feeling the need to prove your worth? What if all it took was understanding how to make her feel emotionally safe, genuinely valued, and deeply understood? That alone would place you ahead of most men. Here's the uncomfortable reality. If you don't understand these deeper principles, you're already at a disadvantage. You may unintentionally lose attraction that could have developed into something meaningful. You may miss out on connections that could have stayed in her mind long after the interaction ended. That's why these ideas matter. And once they truly sink in, especially the final principle, your perspective on attraction and relationships may never be the same again. Before we continue, I have a quick request. If you're serious about learning and applying these ideas in your own life, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Inside Her, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. It may seem like a small action, but it makes a bigger difference than you might think. Your support allows me to continue creating content that can genuinely help people better understand relationships, attraction, and emotional connection. Now let's move on to the first principle, something most men dramatically underestimate. The silent power of physical touch before intimacy. Imagine you're on a date. The atmosphere feels comfortable. The conversation flows naturally. You're both laughing, enjoying the moment, and everything appears to be going well. Yet beneath the surface, something feels incomplete. She's engaged and attentive, but she hasn't fully opened up emotionally. Later, you drop her off, send her a message, and then nothing. No response. Just silence. This is often the exact point where many men unknowingly lose momentum. Most men believe attraction is built primarily through conversation. They focus on being funny, telling interesting stories, or impressing her with their intelligence and experiences. But women don't connect through words alone. They connect through emotions. They connect through energy. Most importantly, they connect through how they feel when they're around you. One of the most overlooked ways to strengthen that feeling is through calm, intentional physical contact. Not rushed. Not needy. And certainly not forced. It should feel natural, respectful, and effortless. Even the smallest gesture, when done with genuine intention, can completely change the emotional dynamic between two people. A light touch on her shoulder. A warm and unhurried hug. A reassuring gesture at exactly the right moment. These simple actions often communicate more than words ever could. For many women, emotional safety carries more weight than physical attraction alone. Non-sexual physical touch quietly sends a powerful message. It tells her that you respect her boundaries. It tells her that she can feel comfortable around you. It tells her that being close to you doesn't come with pressure. And that feeling of comfort is what allows true intimacy to grow. This isn't about memorizing techniques or performing a carefully planned strategy. It's about being present. It's about slowing down. And most importantly, it's about paying attention to how she responds. When you create an environment where she feels appreciated rather than pressured, interactions begin to unfold naturally. The men who stand out the most are rarely the ones trying to rush the process. They don't force moments. They don't chase emotional reactions. They allow connections to develop at their own pace. They remain calm, grounded, aware of what's happening in front of them. They understand that genuine connection grows best in an atmosphere of comfort and ease. When you carry yourself with that kind of calm confidence, you naturally become someone she feels safe with. Someone she enjoys being around. Someone who attracts her without needing to pursue relentlessly or force attraction to happen. What makes this even more powerful is that it operates on a level most people never consciously notice. When a woman feels emotionally safe around you, her defenses begin to lower naturally. Not because you've convinced her. Not because you've pressured her. But because your presence feels trustworthy. That sense of comfort isn't created through grand romantic gestures or dramatic displays. It's built through consistency. It's built through respectful behavior. It's built through dozens of small interactions that quietly communicate security. The way you sit. The way you listen. The way you respond to her emotions. The way you manage your own energy. All of these details matter. When physical touch occurs naturally within that environment, it strengthens the emotional safety that's already being established. It communicates confidence without aggression. Interest without neediness. Attraction without pressure. The key is awareness. Pay attention to her reactions. Notice whether she moves closer. Notice whether she relaxes. Notice whether she creates distance. Respecting those signals is what separates a man who understands connection from a man who is merely trying to impress. Patience is equally important. Many men rush because they fear missing an opportunity. But genuine attraction rarely develops under pressure. It develops when there is room for emotions to grow naturally. When you slow down and stay present, you create space for authentic feelings to emerge. And that's what makes an interaction feel memorable. Another important factor is emotional awareness. Many men focus only on their own actions. But real connection comes from understanding what she may be experiencing emotionally in each moment. When you're attentive, you notice subtle shifts in her mood, body language, and energy. That awareness allows you to respond naturally rather than guessing or forcing an outcome. As a result, your presence feels steady and reassuring. Something many women encounter far less often than you might think. It's also important to understand the attractiveness of restraint. Not reacting impulsively. Not rushing physical closeness. Not trying to speed up the process. These behaviors create a powerful impression of self-control and confidence. When your actions are deliberate and measured, they feel more genuine. They show that you are guided by clarity rather than desperation. Over time, these small moments build trust. Trust creates comfort. Comfort creates emotional openness. And emotional openness often becomes the foundation of deeper attraction. When a woman feels she can truly relax around you without pressure or expectation, she begins associating you with emotional peace. And that feeling remains with her long after you've left. That's what makes your presence far more powerful than any line, compliment, or clever conversation ever could.